In the last 10 years or so, accelerators have proliferated. There's thousands of them. And the traditional accelerator, like Y Combinator, is the most famous, but there's a bunch of them.
500 startups.
Yeah, 500 startups. Here in Europe, I was involved with one called Startupbootcamp, which has these things all over. But there's a bunch of them. And basically, before COVID anyway, you would apply. They would pick maybe 10, maybe 20. In case of YC or 500, maybe 50. Everybody has to come together in a physical location. You go through a defined program, maybe 12 weeks. The accelerator usually gives you a little bit of money.
Takes some equity.
Yeah, and then at the end there's a demo day, which theoretically is, they're going to invite in all these mentors and network and investors. Some are better at it than others, and hopefully at that point you would, be able to close a round. That's the idea. Now, accelerators are a little different because accelerators might be like a co-working space that exists.
Incubators, you mean?
I'm sorry, incubators. Yeah, my mistake. So incubators are different than accelerators. I've heard some people say the difference is an incubator is like a little baby incubating, whereas the accelerator is like a rocket ship, which is kind of cute. But I would say the difference is really the incubators don't necessarily have a beginning or an end. They have maybe access to shared services, mentors, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, legal, accounting.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. But there's no necessary beginning or end. And they typically don't take equity, I would say. I mean, some of them do, but typically don't. And also in the incubator, a lot of these are supported by governments. Mm-hmm. So the governments will subsidize.
Which is very common in Europe, actually.
Very common, yeah. Now, one other thing that you don't see as much in the States, but you do see here in Europe, is basically free money. A
lot of grants.
There's a lot of grants.
So Europe's historically, if Europe, there's what I've noticed living here for 7+ years is they're very insecure as a continent about their lack of big success in tech compared to the Americans. The Americans and now Chinese coming up with TikTok and other stuff. Europeans know they're behind on the big tech arms race, and the government is throwing a lot of money. Yeah. The EU's throwing a lot of money down to try and bridge that gap, but they're still struggling at this early stage.
And it's free. It's literally free money.
Yeah, but you got to fill out a lot of paperwork, and there's all kinds of people making money helping you fill out the paperwork.
Okay, yeah, but it is the other thing I've noticed. Up in the Nordics, I remember Finland had an incredibly generous program. You could get this is right after Nokia sort of imploded or whatever, sold their business to Microsoft. There was a ton of money to support Finnish entrepreneurs, and they would get about 400,000 or 500,000 euros. And the problem with it is that's actually a pretty nice little seed round.
Yeah, so pre-seed round, really.
Pre-seed round. This was 8 years ago. So you ramp up your team and your overhead.
Then you just run out of money.
Yeah, and then you that's scary, right? Because now you have to, and and then boom. So you got to be careful about that. But Switzerland has amazing programs where they have increments of say 150 to say 750,000. Mm-hmm. USA has some in the they're called SBIR grants. Okay. So for that's through the Small Business Administration. So that's another way you can get your company off the ground.